This was supposed to be over. Apologies were posted, tweets were deleted. People said they were reflecting. But instead of ending the drama, their response exposed something way worse. Because the more they talked, the clearer it became. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was coordination, deflection, and a system that only breaks when someone finally shows receipts. And once that happened, everything collapsed. At first, most people thought this was standard esports drama, a tense tournament, a teammate clash, someone labeled toxic. That's usually where these stories die. But this one didn't, because Kingsman didn't play the usual game. Instead of vague tweets or emotional clips, he dropped evidence. Discord messages, private conversations, timelines, not vibes, not opinions, receipts. And once those came out, the narrative stopped being flexible. This wasn't about ego. This wasn't about feelings. This was a $40,000 tournament. That matters. 4. Kingsman, that money wasn't clout, it was real opportunity. And in competitive play, suggesting swaps, calling out zero-kill performances, and trying to win is not harassment. It's literally the point. But that mindset made him the problem. Not because he was wrong, but because he disrupted the vibes. Publicly, CC claimed she had nothing to do with Kingsman getting kicked. She framed it as chatters reporting him the organizer acting alone, Kingsman disrespecting the team. But privately, there was coordination. Messages showed agreement that Kingsman was expendable, that removing him was fine, that better players were waiting. That's not passive involvement, that's participation. And once people saw that contrast, public innocence versus private approval, trust evaporated instantly. When backlash hit, the cleanup began. Old tweets vanished, not random ones, specific tweets, statements about men, statements about conflict, statements that suddenly didn't fit the learning and reflecting image. That's not personal growth, that's brand management. Real accountability leaves the past visible and addresses it. Deleting it just confirms you understand the problem and don't want it seen. Sponsors understand that too. Once Kingsman's document went public, this stopped being internet noise. Organizations don't care about Twitter arguments. They care about risk. And Solaris Gaming made their stance clear. CC was removed from their organization and creator program. Companies don't move that fast unless the evidence is solid, the situation is unrecoverable. Staying involved is more dangerous than leaving. That decision said more than any apology ever could. While CC was scrubbing history, Lucy doubled down. She went live and said she was 100% justified telling Kingsman to shut up during the tournament. No apology, no reflection, full confidence. Then came the infamous comparison that had already gone viral. And once again, Lucy tried to explain instead of owning it. That's the pattern. Every apology came with conditions. Every sorry came with a but. That's not accountability, it's negotiation. Lucy later shared private DMs with Kingsman on stream. On the surface, they sounded polite, but the wording mattered. Sorry you got kicked, not I'm sorry I helped get you kicked. That subtle shift removes responsibility. It's sympathy without ownership, a classic deflection tactic, and viewers noticed immediately. Here's the uncomfortable truth. If Kingsman had told any of them to shut up on stream in a $40,000 tournament, the conversation would have ended instantly. He would have been labeled toxic, removed, done. No nuance, no context, no vibes. But because it went the other direction suddenly, it was justified, it was emotional, it was complicated. That double standard is what cracked this wide open. This is where the story stopped being about one tournament. Anti-Grow stepped forward with receipts from months earlier. According to him, after he posted videos calmly defending himself from false claims, CC privately warned him. If he continued speaking publicly, he would be removed from the Marvel Rivals creator Discord. That Discord wasn't just a chat. It was access, visibility, opportunities, tournaments. That's pressure. And Anti-Grow stayed silent for 4 months because of it. That's not moderation. That's control. Once you line it all up, the pattern is obvious. Public confidence, private pressure, silence enforced through access. Apologies only when exposure is unavoidable. Kingsman didn't just defend himself. He exposed a system that relied on people being afraid to speak. And systems like that only work until someone refuses to play along. Here's the part no one expected. Kingsman didn't just survive, He grew. Subscribers surged, support poured in, donations arrived from strangers who simply believed him. Meanwhile, the people who thought this would quietly pass are dealing with lost sponsors, locked accounts, permanent reputation damage, not because of the original mistake, but because of how they handled it. This was never about one bad moment. It was about what happens after. Mistakes don't end careers. Deflection does. Silencing smaller creators doesn't protect communities, it destroys them. And screenshots don't care about your tone, your intent, or your apology lighting. They only care about what actually happened. Kingsman didn't win because he was loud. He won because he had proof. And the rest of them are learning in real time what happens when narratives collapse under evidence.